Over 200 unexpectedly revealed mummies found on Mount Everest terrify scientists. Welcome to the 10 Minutes Discovery Channel. Today we will conquer one of the greatest natural wonders of the planet, Mount Everest. Mount Everest, where the cultures of Tibet and Nepal intersect. Known as the roof of the world, Everest is not only captivating for its towering height of 8,848 meters, but also for the mysteries and challenges it presents. The Nepalese call it Sagarmatha, meaning forehead of the sky, while the Tibetans refer to it as Chomolangma, which translates to Goddess Mother of the Universe. With its extreme temperatures, altitude challenges, and massive ice columns, Everest truly represents a perilous and enigmatic environment. Climbers face countless difficulties, from oxygen deprivation to sudden snowstorms. Do you have the courage to explore the strange and terrifying phenomena here? What have scientists discovered beneath the thick layers of ice? Are there dry mummies, graveyards of unfortunate climbers, or mysterious footprints of the Yeti? Join us now as we embark on a journey to uncover the mysteries of this legendary peak and decode all these discoveries. The Rainbow Valley Cemetery. According to a shocking statistic from the BBC, Mount Everest is considered one of the largest graveyards in the natural world, with an estimated 200 people having lost their lives there. Most of them remain on this snowy peak to this day. Known by the nickname the Death Zone, this area sits at an altitude of over 8,000 meters. The oxygen levels are so thin that no life can survive, and anyone who steps foot here will experience a sensation as if their entire body and mind are approaching a state of shutdown, just moments before inevitable death. In addition to the Death Zone, there is another area with a memorable name, Rainbow Valley. At first glance, this may sound romantic, but the name actually comes from the numerous bodies dressed in colorful protective gear and climbing equipment, causing the mountainside to glow remarkably. Located within the Death Zone, Rainbow Valley stretches across the northern slope of Everest. Rescue operations and the retrieval of bodies here are fraught with difficulties due to the extremely low temperatures, which cause the corpses to freeze and cling tightly to the snow-covered ground. Recognizing the danger and high costs involved, many rescue teams have opted to give up, turning this place into one of the most infamous and haunting landmarks on Mount Everest. The corpse, known as Green Boots. Among the many bodies that remain on Mount Everest, a few have captured the attention of climbing enthusiasts. One of these is the body of a tragic climber nicknamed Green Boots. This name comes from the neon green boots that still remain intact on the man's feet. For many years, Green Boots has been an image etched in the memories of every visitor climbing to the summit, serving as a reminder of the preciousness of life. Almost everyone will pass by this location before taking a rest in a nearby cave. It is believed that this man may be Sawang Paljor, an Indian climber who died in a snowstorm in 1996. Paljor's family has been deeply troubled by the curses and baseless stories circulated around his body. However, by May 2014, no one could accurately locate Paljor's position anymore, despite the extreme difficulty of moving a body at an altitude of over 8,000 meters. The giant piles of waste on Everest. Imagine you've spent half a day climbing on Mount Everest, and suddenly you are struck with a stomachache. With the surrounding area becoming extremely barren, filled with dirt, rocks, snow, and melting ice, not to mention other climbers, the only thing you can do is dig a hole to relieve yourself comfortably. Naturally, as the number of explorers on Everest continues to rise, the reality of this roof of the world turning into a gigantic toilet is becoming increasingly stark. According to a report by the Washington Post, the estimated amount of human biological waste on Everest each year reaches a staggering 2,600 pounds, over 12 tons. And this number will only continue to increase as people persistently attempt to conquer this peak year after year. Piles of waste accumulate and pile up, causing water pollution downstream due to erosion and melting snow. The situation has become serious enough that the president of the Nepal Mountaineering Association issued a warning to tourists about this issue back in 2015. Yet to this day, little has changed. The footprints of the Yeti. This is perhaps the most prominent feature that anyone associates with the majestic Mount Everest. The legend of the Yeti, also known as the abominable snowman in Himalayan folklore, has long been a hot topic of discussion in the scientific community. It's worth noting that the concept of the Yeti officially emerged in 1951 when climber Eric Shipton accidentally photographed a massive footprint of strange shape which he believed to be that of the Yeti. Since then, many other discoveries have occurred, including Edmund Hillary's claim of seeing giant hairy figures moving at an altitude of about 800 meters on Everest. In 1960, a piece of scalp was discovered in the home of a Nepalese woman, believed to belong to the Yeti, but it was later declared to be a hoax and kept at a nearby monastery. While science has yet to definitively prove the existence of the Yeti, researchers have come close to debunking the idea that it is a real human species. In 2017, a study was conducted on DNA samples thought to be collected from the Yeti or a similar creature. The results indicated that the DNA belonged to a local bear species. Nevertheless, the legend of the Yeti continues to spread, and it may be a long time before the truth about this colossal, half-man, half-bear creature is revealed. Puja ceremony, seeking permission from the mountain gods. In Tibetan Buddhist culture, Everest is called Chomolangma, meaning goddess of the mountain. Thus, the peak is viewed as a sacred place, requiring all climbers to seek permission and ensure safe passage before stepping onto the mountain. This occurs during a puja ceremony, traditionally held at base camp before the ascent begins. The puja is performed by a Buddhist lama or several monks. During the ceremony, they ask for good fortune and protection as climbers prepare for their journey. They also bless the team's climbing equipment, including ice axes, crampons, and harnesses. This is a crucial step that must be completed before starting the expedition. Failing to perform this ritual means you cannot conquer Everest, and it is a tradition that has been in place for hundreds of years, welcoming foreign climbers to participate. Sherpas, the unsung heroes of the Himalayas. Sherpas also play the vital role of guides, setting up ropes on snowy peaks. No Everest expedition would be complete without Sherpas. However, they remain silent heroes, earning wages as laborers while supporting climbers from behind the scenes. Notably, two Sherpas, Appa Sherpa and Phurba Tashi, currently hold the world record for the most ascents of Everest, with a total of 21 successful climbs without any serious incidents. A study conducted by the US in 1976 found that Sherpas in Nepal have undergone genetic changes to adapt to life at high altitudes, having lived in one of the highest regions in the world for thousands of years. However, Sherpas are not superhuman. They can also suffer from altitude sickness like anyone else. Many Sherpas have tragically lost their lives alongside climbers pursuing their dreams of standing on top of the world. For instance, in April 2014, an avalanche claimed the lives of 16 Sherpas who were guiding climbers on Everest. This rare and terrifying event did not shake the resolve and determination of these guides. The open-air dump on Everest. No one can accurately determine the amount of waste scattered across the summit of Everest. However, as of now, a total of 16 tons of trash has been collected, according to BBC statistics, making it clear that Everest is often likened to an open-air landfill that remains difficult to close. The waste comes in many forms, from tattered tents and climbing gear to food wrappers, beverage bottles, and even oxygen tanks. Additionally, at altitudes exceeding 8,000 meters, organizing large-scale waste collection becomes exceptionally challenging compared to ground level. With around 300 tourists and local guides visiting each year, bringing the total number of people who have stepped on Everest to approximately 4,000, maintaining the natural beauty of this mountain is truly a daunting task. Yet this reality does not lessen our astonishment at the sheer amount of trash left behind on those snow-covered peaks. The risk of Everest becoming the largest dump in the world is increasingly real. In response to this looming threat, numerous measures have been proposed to curb the littering habits of visitors. Notably, in 2012, a group of artists sought to promote environmental awareness by arranging 1.5 tons of waste on Everest into a true work of art. By 2014, each climber ascending Everest was required to commit to carrying down at least 8 kilograms of waste. Failure to do so would result in the forfeiture of a $4,000 deposit. While this may seem unreasonable given the challenges of moving in such an environment, it is a reality that must be accepted if we wish to protect this towering peak. The summit of Everest may still be rising. How high exactly is Mount Everest? China reports that it stands at 8,044 meters, while Nepal claims it reaches 8,048 meters. The Chinese side argues that the mountain should be measured from the precise height of the rock layer at the summit, excluding the thick layer of snow on top. Although it's unclear which side is more accurate, the international community generally includes the snow cover in its calculations. In 2010, the two countries agreed that the official height of the world's highest peak is 8,848 meters. However, a research group studying Everest suggests that both figures provided by Nepal and China could be entirely incorrect. In 1994, they discovered that the summit is still growing, rising at a rate of 4 millimeters per year. The Indian subcontinent was originally an independent landmass that collided with Asia to form the Himalayas, and the tectonic plates are still shifting, pushing the mountain higher. Notably, researchers from AME installed a GPS device at the peak in 1999 to measure its growth rate. The results indicated that the actual height of the mountain had reached approximately 8,850 meters, and this number is on the rise. It's very likely that in the future, this mountain will surpass our wildest expectations. Many paths to explore Everest. Historically, many have thought that there is only one route to the summit of Everest, but few realize that today, we can approach Everest from two directions: Tibet or Nepal. For regular tourists, there are trails leading directly to Everest Base Camp. From there, if the weather is favorable, you may catch a glimpse of the summit. Alternatively, if you wish to view this magnificent peak from the air, you can purchase a ticket for a Himalayan sightseeing flight departing from Kathmandu, the capital of Nepal. For professional climbers, conquering Everest is a challenge that requires careful consideration and thorough preparation. It is an extreme endeavor, with hundreds of climbers having paid the ultimate price for their ambition. Statistically, the safest year for Everest ascents was 1993, when 129 people reached the summit and 8 perished, a success-to-fatality ratio of 16.1. The deadliest year on Everest was 1996, when 15 people lost their lives. Recently, the Nepalese government announced that it is considering a law to prohibit elderly and very young or inexperienced climbers from attempting the summit to ensure the safety of tourists. This proposal arises from a series of avalanche accidents and a historic earthquake in Nepal that resulted in numerous fatalities. The jumping spider delicacy. It's hard to believe that in temperatures plummeting well below freezing, a creature can survive the harshness of nature. We're talking about the jumping spider, a tiny insect measuring just over 1 centimeter long and covered in dense fur. As its name suggests, it has the remarkable ability to move by jumping from one spot to another at altitudes around 6,700 meters above sea level. In the extreme conditions of Everest, few plant and animal species can thrive. Therefore, to survive, the jumping spider must seek out its own food. This may include harmless insects that are unfortunate enough to be swept up by the strong winds of the Himalayas, or occasionally, lost migratory ducks that fall during their journey to escape the cold. Regardless, the jumping spider truly deserves recognition as a unique resident capable of living at the highest point on Earth, like the summit of Everest. Everest is not the tallest mountain in the world. While Everest is the highest peak on Earth when measured from sea level, Mauna Kea, an inactive volcano in Hawaii, holds the record for the tallest mountain in the world. Everest may be taller above sea level, but that doesn't mean it is the highest mountain overall. Mauna Kea reaches an elevation of 4,005 meters above sea level, but its base extends about 6,000 meters below the ocean surface. This brings its total height to approximately 10,200 meters, making it the tallest mountain in the world when measured from base to summit. This might come as a surprise, but it's a fact that we sometimes hesitate to accept. A 450 million year history. While everyone knows that the Himalayas were formed around 60 million years ago, the history of Mount Everest dates back even further. The limestone and sandstone at the summit were once part of sediment layers beneath the ocean 450 million years ago. Over time, the oceanic crust was pushed upward at a rate of 11 centimeters per year, ultimately reaching its current position. The rocks at the top of Everest contain numerous fossils of marine life that once existed in the ocean. Notably, explorer Noel Odell discovered the first fossil on Everest in 1924, proving that the mountain was once submerged beneath sea level. However, it wasn't until 1956 that these fossils were brought back by a Swiss climber. Everest, the pinnacle of conquest. Despite its extreme harshness, this snow-covered mountain in the majestic Himalayas continues to attract visitors from all over the world. Standing before Everest not only offers a breathtaking view, but also evokes a profound sense of conquering nature and overcoming personal limits. Since the first successful ascent of the goddess mother of the universe in 1953, Everest has remained a coveted goal for professional climbers. Each year, hundreds of climbers register to tackle the summit in Nepal alone. Climbing Everest requires not only technical skills, physical fitness, and perseverance, but it is also an endeavor that is not accessible to the financially disadvantaged. In Nepal, climbers must obtain a government permit after paying a significant fee, which was previously $25,000 per person, but dropped to $12,000 at the beginning of 2014. This fee covers the cost of hiring Sherpas, a local ethnic group skilled in mountaineering, and yaks to carry supplies. To conquer this towering peak, one must be exceptionally well off. In simple terms, you need to be wealthy to take on this challenge. Current situation of congestion on Mount Everest. Despite the high cost of climbing Mount Everest, which can reach thousands of dollars, more and more people are attempting to conquer it. In 2012, German climber Ralf Dujmovitz captured a photo showing hundreds of climbers waiting in line to reach the summit. Ralph decided to turn back due to bad weather and the long wait time. On May 19, 2012, the number of climbers was so high that they had to wait 2 hours to reach the top. In half a day, 234 people reached the summit, but unfortunately, 4 lost their lives. Nepalese experts had to add more ropes to alleviate the congestion and even discuss the possibility of installing permanent ladders there. First measurement of Mount Everest. According to the Department of Geology at the University of Montana, Mount Everest was first measured in 1856. At that time, a comprehensive survey of British India designated it as Peak 15, with an elevation of 8,840 meters. However, the survey faced challenges because Nepal did not allow surveyors to enter the country. The currently recognized height is due to a joint survey conducted by Nepal and China in November 2021, although technically, Everest's height is changing. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the mountain is gradually rising due to tectonic activity and rising sea levels. In 1865, British General Andrew Waugh in India proposed naming the mountain after his predecessor, George Everest. For centuries, the Tibetan people have referred to this mountain as Chomolangma, meaning Goddess Mother. But Waugh was unaware of this because Nepal and Tibet were closed to outsiders. Mount Everest has always attracted seasoned climbers and some amateur climbers from around the world. They often rely on local Sherpas as guides, as the Sherpa people are a Tibetan ethnic minority known for their knowledge of the Himalayas and climbing skills. Climbing more than 350 meters from base camp to the summit in an oxygen-thin environment is no easy feat. Altitude sickness, weather, wind, and, in rare cases, altitude-related mental disorders present significant obstacles to conquering this mountain. Veteran climber Alan Arnett once said, "It's like holding your breath while climbing a staircase, not just any staircase, but one like the stairs in the Empire State Building." Statistics show that more than 6,000 people have reached the summit of Everest, and over 300 have died while attempting to climb it. Among those who have succeeded, up to 80% have done so since the year 2000. Dear friends, it has been over 60 years since Sir Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay first conquered the summit of Everest, and the desire to reach the roof of the world remains as strong as ever. Every year, people from all over the globe flock here, undeterred by the dangers posed by harsh weather and unforeseen accidents. Everest is not just a mountain, it is a symbol of perseverance, courage, and the quest to push beyond limits. So, are you one of those who dreams of standing atop this majestic peak? Are you ready to face the harsh challenges to become part of this glorious history? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to our channel so you won't miss out on other exciting adventures. Thank you for watching, and see you again on our next journeys.